Hey folks, Clark Profit putting the P in HPS Law Group since 2019. This is part 5 of our series on patent basics, and today we are going to talk about the different parts of a patent and some of the things that your patent attorney is worried about as they are drafting those patents. And so you can see some of the things that we're considering as we're going through those. So there are 6 different parts to your patent application, 6 substantive parts. You've got a background of your invention, a summary, a description of your drawings. There has to be at least one drawing that comes in with every patent, a detailed description, set of claims, and then an abstract. So we'll go through them kind of one by one. So your background of the invention is exactly that, background of the invention. You're going to want to talk about the field that your invention is in, so the general type of product that you're talking about, and then a description of the prior art. So what have others done in this area before you came in and revolutionized it with your new innovation? That's your background. Then you're going to go into a brief summary of the invention. Here you're going to talk about the objects of the invention, the things that you're trying to do. You want to list as many as possible, kind of brainstorm that, and then you're going to list out, you're going to restate your claims in clear English, and we'll talk in a minute about why they are not in clear English, but they're really a slog. So you're going to restate all of the claims that you drafted in plain English. Then you get to a description of your drawings, which has to, guess what, describe your drawings. Really, your descriptions here just have to be clear enough that each drawing is set apart from the others so they know which drawing is talking about what from your description. And then you get into the detailed description of the invention. The detailed description and the claims are the parts that take us the most time as we're drafting these things. Detailed description is where you go through and kind of walk through every single important component, every single important part of your invention. You're going to talk about what they are, what they do, how they relate to each other, and what different alternatives might be used in that or in their place, so that you can pull in as much as possible. If someone comes in and tries to compete with you, you want to describe as completely as you can the different ways that they might do that. It should be all in your detailed description. Once you get your detailed description, now we get to the claims. And sort of the concept of a patent is that the government is giving you a monopoly, limited in time. You get 20 years from the date you filed your application. You get a monopoly on your invention in exchange for a complete disclosure. So you're letting that information out into the world so that other innovators and anyone who wants it can have it, in exchange for 20 years of exclusivity on making, using, or selling that invention. So your claims are where you define the thing that you have a monopoly over. And the rules on it are that it has to be definite. It has to be really clear what is inside the scope of those claims and what is outside the scope of those claims. And that definite requirements has made a number of rules that make them hard to draft and hard to read. So if you go and pull up a patent, any patent out there, go back to the claims and read them, it's a slog. They're always difficult to read. And they're the part where the attorneys can add the most value. So because we know the law and how these things need to be described, the rules on how you need to describe them, and we understand your invention, this is where we can really broaden out the scope of what you are going to get your monopoly on. So we spend the most time kind of agonizing over what those claims say to get your protection as broad as possible. So that all kind of works into what we're thinking about when we're drafting those claims. After you get the claims, then there's your abstract. The abstract is basically, it's just a brief synopsis of your invention. It's very short. It has a word limit of 150 words, so it's never long-winded. That's the first part that you always see if you pull up a patent. It's the abstract, the really brief synopsis of what's going on in that invention. And it's just how you wrap up and kind of finish out your patent application. So in the next parts of this series, I'll go through these kind of in more detail, and in some of the details of what you want to look for in those things. So you can check those out if you want, and come back next time. Thanks.